What's going on, Packers Nation? Welcome back to another video of Packers Latest. I am your host, Taylor Bretl, keeping you up to date on the latest news on the green and gold Green Bay Packers. A happy Tuesday to all of you watching out there, and a huge shout out to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. If you want to sign up for Underdog, feel free to scan that QR code right up there. When you play your first $5, you can win up to $75 in bonus entries. March Madness is in full swing. A little bit of a break there until those Sweet 16 games tip off, but the NBA, a lot of other things are going on as well, and MLB is just a couple of days away, so there's no better time to sign up than right now. On today's episode, we got kind of a mix once more. You know, the offseason, a lot of names have been dying down for the Packers, but still a lot of events, a lot of very neat things happening around the organization. I did want to start this one off talking about how the Green Bay Packers celebrated the life of Bob Harland in a very, very, very neat event held in the atrium of Lambeau Field. There's lots of articles on this. You can find videos of it. It was very well done, and just unfortunate Bob Harland passing away on March 5th. One of the most impactful names that you can tie to the Green Bay Packers in their entire history. You look at his path with the Green Bay Packers, and Harland first entered as the assistant general manager from 1971 to 1975, and then he moved up to corporate general manager from 1975 to 1981. After that, he moved to the assistant to the president of corporate from 1981 to 1988, then bumping up to the executive vice president of administration from 1988 to 1989, and then his big role, president and CEO from 1989 to 2006. Then he was just the CEO from 2006 to 2008, and the chairman emeritus from 2008 all the way up until 2025. So what a story, what a career. Just what Harland did for the franchise of the Green Bay Packers will never be overlooked. I mean, he is a key reason why the Packers sustained success year after year after year, starting in the 1990s. You look at the championships and that on-field success, he was a big reason why the Packers got that Super Bowl in 1996, and he kind of just returned consistent contender status from the 1990s on, because when you think about it, before Harland got there, the Packers were in this huge mediocrity stretch following Lombardi and just one of the worst teams in the NFL, just not finding any success for way too long of a stretch. Harland is a big reason why they got dug out of that hole. Here's one of the reasons why. He hired Ron Wolf as the GM in 1991, who's widely considered the turning point of the modern Green Bay Packers. He also approved the trade for Brett Favre in 1992, and in that same season hired head coach Mike Holmgren, who brought, a winning culture and led them to that Super Bowl in 1996. You look at just the stadium as well. He oversaw major renovations of Lambeau Field, if you want to jump forward to the year 2003, and he helped secure long-term financial visibility in what is the NFL's smallest market. We've been seeing this a lot with the Green Bay Packers. Are they even going to change the name of Lambeau Field just because of money now? But Harland's trying to keep everything historic and classic that the Green Bay Packers represent. And you look as well, just kind of his legacy. I mean, he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2014, and he bridged the figure between the Lombardi era and modern Packers. I got a lot of this. There's lots of articles on Harland on the celebration event. The Packers.com actually has one themselves, but just very impressive what he did for the Green Bay Packers and what he really brought. I mean, it's truly just absolutely incredible. And I'm saddened that he did pass away early in March, but you just have to tip the cap to why the Green Bay Packers are where they are today and how they dug out of that hole in the 1990s. You can turn to the name of Bob Harland. Transitioning to the next point of this video, we're going to talk about something to look forward to in this next season. The Green Bay Packers are going to debut new rivalry jerseys. We saw this with a couple teams last season. I'm trying to think of some off the top of the head. I know the Patriots had one, the Seahawks, the Cardinals. There was a lot of other teams, but it's another new uniform for the Green Bay Packers. We saw a new uniform last season representing the 1923 look with kind of the more Acme Packers. This rivalry one, I think, will be its own. It's not going to base off of anything. I believe I have that right. So it should be interesting to see what that is. I'm curious what you guys think it should be. I don't really know how much the Packers can do because they really just have two colors in green and gold. Maybe you sprinkle a little white in there. I know people always want like an all-black uniform, but who knows if that'll happen. But I've seen crazier things. I've seen crazier uniform ideas. I think it'll be neat, though. I'm not really sure. There's not too much information on it outside of how the Packers will have one in the 2026 season. It doesn't say when they'll wear it. It doesn't say what it'll look like. I'm sure that'll release sometime in the future. I don't really remember how that timed out last season with the other teams, but the Packers are next up on that list. Should be pretty exciting. I don't even know what I'd really hope for that. I really like how the Packers have brought back the old look. They did the 50s jerseys a couple years ago. They did 1923 last season, which unfortunately those jerseys were a curse because that was the game against the Carolina Panthers where, first of all, they lost. Second of all, Tucker Kraft was out for the season. So hopefully these rivalry jerseys bring a little bit more good luck than the 1923 ones did. But before I get into the next point, have to give a huge shout out to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. If you get your picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. I've had my picks, we focusing in on the Milwaukee Bucks a lot, but they don't play today, so I'm actually going to turn my picks to you guys. I know that there's a little bit of a break before the Sweet 16 games tip off, but I want you to feel free to leave in the comments down below. Who do you have going all the way in March Madness? I've talked about it in my bracket. I have Arizona. They are facing Arkansas, which I think could possibly be an upset there. And I know some people won't view it too much of an upset because this Arkansas team is very dangerous representing the SEC. But nonetheless, feel free to leave down in the comments. Let me know who you have going all the way. And maybe you want to put that pick in on Underdog Fantasy. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today and use promo code FOOTBALLFAN to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code FOOTBALLFAN. Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-878 or text HOMI 467-369.
I welcome you back to Packers Latest. Now we're going to kind of talk about, I don't even know how to view this, related to Jaire Alexander, which I feel like is a very common theme with a lot of question marks, a lot of confusion when you mention the name Jaire Alexander. So on Instagram, which people believe is his because he used to have an Instagram with like over 400,000 followers. Now there's this one that only has 2,000. It's verified, but you can pay for a verification now. So, like, who knows if this even is his? The first post dates back to 2024. I seriously myself don't even know if this is his, but I saw this trending over X and on some other platforms talking about this. On Instagram, Jaire's been posting like old photos of his career. Most of them are Packers focused, which is understandable because that's where he played most of his career. He only played those couple games with Baltimore. He then signed with the Eagles and he didn't play a snap there. So lots of old photos looking at his Louisville days, looking at his Green Bay Packers days. But in his most recent post, it's a video of him at the beach, which we believe is him. But you know what you can do with technology and AI, like who knows what to believe. So feel free to look for it yourself. I think the Instagram is literally just his name, Jaire Alexander, and it only has 2,000 followers, but it's verified. Again, you can pay for the verification. Who knows if it's him? I'm just reading what I was seeing over X, and I thought I'd bring it up because it's kind of interesting. In that video, in quotes, he said, "A few months ago, I stepped away from the NFL and didn't say a word to anybody. It may be time to fill you guys in. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not." Again, I don't know how to weigh this video. Who knows if it's even real? Looks real to me, but you honestly can't believe anything these days with all due respect. So feel free to watch it yourself and tell me how you evaluate that. But that brings a question, if he were to come back to the NFL, would you guys even want him? Should the Green Bay Packers even go for Jaire Alexander? We know the main reason the Packers let him go is because of the injury issues. Then he went to Baltimore, did not look like his old self. Then after leaving Baltimore, went to the Eagles where he seemed excited to play because I believe that was his favorite team as a child. And then he just stepped away from the NFL, so who knows what's going on there. I believe actually some of that money he got from the Ravens and or the Eagles, he returned to them. I saw something on this about 2 weeks ago, so kind of a messy, kind of a I don't know situation there. That's how I'd word it. Very interesting to say the least. He's only played 16 games over the last 3 seasons, which really speaks to those knee injuries that he keeps occurring. His last full season was in 2022, where he was named a Pro Bowler for the second time in his career when he was with the Green Bay Packers. But again, if you were to come back, if you were to not be retired or away from the game, I guess you could call it anymore, would you guys want the Green Bay Packers to go after him? Me personally, I mean, I guess it would be like the cheapest contract. It would probably be some level of a minimum, but I don't know if I'd want him. Also, I remember as good as he was, like truly so good with the Green Bay Packers. A one con was he could only play one side of the field, and I think that really dragged down the productivity, and you could line up whatever receiver you wanted on that side because you knew Jaire could only cover one half of the field. So feel free to leave in the comments down below. Would you guys want Jaire Alexander to come to the Packers? If any of this that I just told you guys that I saw is even real. Nonetheless, if he were to come back, me personally, maybe you make it like a little 10-day contract, see how that works out, build from there. I don't know. The cornerback room, they added Benjamin St. Juste. In my opinion, it's still a little thin, could use a little bit of work. Would Jair be that boost? I would say no, which I know sounds weird to say. My 2022 self would probably say, what are you doing? But in 2026, it's a whole different story with Jair and where his NFL career sits. That's going to take me to the last point, though. Let's stick on the Packers defense and guys that actually are on the Packers defense. In Micah Parsons and this defensive line, Micah Parsons' personal trainer, Lance Dean, is working with the other defensive lineman members of the Green Bay Packers, which I think is really cool, with Parsons in there in attendance as well. Some of those names include Barron Sorrell, Colin Oliver, and Carl Brooks. Been working with them throughout the offseason. Players have referred to Dean in quotes as the guru of pass rush. So that's very exciting because it's not just 3 names on the defensive line for the Packers. It's 3 young guys looking to build and get better in the NFL and get better for this Green Bay Packers defense. And you're working out with one of the best rushers in the NFL in Micah Parsons and his personal trainer that has helped him build all the way up to how good Parsons is. So there's videos of that on X as well. I believe Micah Parsons, or either him or his trainer, had a video out on his Instagram story showing all them working out together. So I think that that's very neat that the D-line is, you get that chemistry together, and hopefully they start to improve with the 2026 season, just a couple of months away. But that's all I got for this episode of Packers Latest. I appreciate you tuning in as always, and go Pack